why everyone should have one, regardless if you're selling a digital product or coaching services on the back end, regardless of what you're doing, everyone that you do business with is going to have a customer journey roadmap. So we're going to take a few minutes here to go through and break down what the customer journey roadmap is. And we're going to go through an exercise and why finding yours out tonight, putting something together on paper, because this is going to be the ecosystem to what you want to do for content, webinars, emails, products, services, anything you plan on launching or wanting to have. It will center around the customer journey roadmap. And so we're going to jump right on down here to the customer journey framework. And in this worksheet here, if you'd like a copy, check somewhere down below this video. You'll see a PDF with the slide deck for these specific slides for you to print out and work along. If you're here with me live, just grab a piece of paper, grab a notebook, just draw out something, a 3x3 grid. And we're going to go through each step and each stage and why it's so important and effective. We're just going to go and run through this right now. So you want to be able to take someone from a transformation from where they're currently at. Most people that you're going to work with and help them achieve a result, you want to be able to say, where are they currently at? Why are they frustrated? Why are they overwhelmed? Why aren't they getting the returns they'd like? Why aren't they finding the deals that they need? Why aren't they acquiring the properties under certain terms? There's a frustration. They're struggling, whatever it may be. That's their initial state. That's where people reach out for help. They typically get so overwhelmed, so frustrated, so flustered and mad that, they're not getting a specific result, that they finally reach out to an expert, someone in the space that knows what they're doing, that's getting results, and that is trustworthy. And so the customer journey visual roadmap, this is what we're looking at as we create this and we build this. And I'll show you some examples of some of the past clients that I've worked with and help them build theirs out. This is going to set you apart from anybody else in the business, because now everybody knows what other people are doing. And I'll use Pace and Dam and Jamil and a few others in the space, Grant Cardone. They all have success and people know they're trustworthy, but they've built their brands and it's taken them years and a lot of work and effort to be able to get to a point where people can trust those folks because they've built it through video. And again, that will be a component of what you should be doing when building your brand and your business out. But imagine if they had a roadmap that clearly stated exactly, when you do business with any of them, it clearly states exactly where you are and what are the steps needed to move all the way up to where you want to be, which is, man, I'm getting deal flow. I'm finding the properties that I like. It's not that hard. I'm not overwhelmed. My money is making 2, 3, 5, 10x when I dump it into a property. I'm getting tax benefits. We want to see that transformation when someone gets to the end of these 9 steps. Now, we use 9 steps, a 3x3 grid, for multiple of reasons, but there's some psychological out there that I don't have the slide for, that I usually bring up and have explain itself, but there's something around 3s, right? You have just do it, gotta have it. There's a lot of different slogans and taglines that use the sets of 3s, and it's just a psychological thing. So a 3x3 grid really stands out into people's eyes. And I do believe I have a slide in here that I can show you as an example. If I don't have my client slides in here. So the client slides in here are not available to show for examples, but I can show the Fletcher method, the one that we used, as an example. But for now, I want to give you guys a blank slate. I want you guys to think raw. So if you're watching this on replay, check down below. You're going to see a PDF. And if you're here live, Jimmy, Javier, glad to have you guys here. We're just going to do a quick exercise here. So typically people will have a phase that they go through as they move through your product or through a journey to that transformation. And so I'm going to keep it very simple and basic, and stuff that I've taught for the digital marketing phase and online business building is typically it's foundation, funnel, and floodgates. And what that means is, and here's, let's do this while I'm here, right? So here we would have foundations. So foundation, right? This is the foundation of any business. What do we need to build out before they get to the funnel phase of building all their funnels, all their content, things to that nature, right? So here's the foundation phase, right? So as people move up, we got the foundation phase, we have the funnel phase, foundation, funnel, and then we have the floodgates phase. Now, floodgates is going to talk a lot about your traffic, where you're getting it, paid, organic, those things to that nature. Because you can't send anybody to your funnel until you have the funnel built. That's why the funnel comes first, right? And this is ABC. Sorry for the formatting, it's not working. So we have foundation level, right? And so typically in the foundation level, and again, this may be different for your business. This is why this is an exercise for you. I'm just going to run through an example for, let's say, a high ticket coaching business. This, and most businesses actually follow this model. A few things are changed differently. The first one is going to be the avatar, right? Who is your avatar, right? This is going to be huge, crucial, finding out who it is that you serve, why you serve them, because this is going to help you understand what kind of marketing message you need to create, what kind of lead magnets you need to have, and how we position those lead magnets to attract the right avatar into your business, into your funnel. Next up is going to be your message, right? What message are you going to say? What's your core title? What are you saying to say, I help lazy capital investor, I help let's see, business professionals 10x their retirement funds in 60 days. Now, I know that's an oddball line. I'm just saying it out loud as that's your message. What is your core message? Who do you help? What's the result you help them to do, and what timeline you help them do it in? Right. So we have to understand what your core message is. Now, that's a different exercise. We will definitely go through that at a different time. But this is, talking about what is your step-by-step process for your customers, right? So you have Javier and Jimmy here, right? As you're writing out your steps out loud or on a piece of paper, drop them here in the chat as well too, so I can see them, right? Like, what would be the first step you would need someone to do business with you, right? What is the customer journey? If your core avatar is the lazy investor that doesn't know what to do with their money and it's just sitting in a bank account just collecting dust, what would be the first step that you would do with them and their money, right? What would be the first thing you do, right? Write that out. Then what would be the second thing? What would be the third thing? What would be the fourth thing? And so dumping that onto a piece of paper is really important. And then if you put it into a timeline order, that'll definitely create this clear 9-step process. But for now, we're just going to go through and I'm going to go through what I've been helped most of my high ticket customers create. So we got product, right? So we have avatar, message, and product. That's the first step, the first foundation of any business that they're launching online, and even in-person businesses, whether it's brick and mortar. You want to know who your avatar is, you want to know what your core message is, and you need to have your products listed out. What are you going to sell? What's your core product? Then you want to take it on to your funnel. You got to build your funnel out, or I'm sorry, lead magnet, right? So you want your lead magnet. So how do we create a lead magnet? What is a lead magnet? What's going to draw them into your business? How do we create that? Where does it come from? We need to then go through helping people set up a lead magnet to get people in. Then we send them down what we call a sales pitch, or blah 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 video page. Right? So we have our video page, right? So our lead magnet is going to take them to a video page. We're going to want to have our video page set up. Then once we have our video page set up, we're going to go into our sales, right? We need to have some sort of sales script. Now, for high ticket sales, you need to have a sales script, but this sales could also be a sales letter, a VSL on a landing page, on a video page. So sales could be a lot of different things depending on the price of the product that you're selling. Then once you have your sales, we're going to take, and that's in the funnel phases, right? So the next part would be is to set up your lead magnet, your video pages, and have your sales pages ready to go. Once you have all that set up, now you can start driving traffic, right? So now you're going to have traffic. What is the traffic? Is it organic or is it paid? I recommend doing organic traffic, testing your funnel out beforehand before you do anything with paid. Paid is a different beast. And I also don't agree with using paid traffic as your single source of revenue, because if that paid traffic gets shut down, if Google, Facebook, anybody decides to say, hey, we're never going to let you run advertising on us again, and that's your primary way of acquiring clients, it's death to your business right away if you haven't mastered the power of organic traffic first. So I always recommend to do organic traffic 80-90% of the time in the beginning, and then slowly go into paid traffic. That way, it works organically. That way you're not, held hostage to the advertising platforms. And if they ever shut you down, you know how to go get clients, or you know how to get people results with organic methods. Then we have, let's see, nope, let's go here. Then we have what is called targeting. I'm sorry, nurturing. So nurturing. So What is nurturing? Nurturing is a nurture sequence. What kind of nurture sequence are you going to send them through? What kind of automation? Is it just going to be email? Now we have a ton of software that can do text message blasts. We have DM follow-ups now. I mean, there's so many great softwares out there that we can use. We want to be nurturing those leads. And if those leads aren't being nurtured every single day or very frequently, then it's not that they're not going to do business with you. What's going to happen is that somebody else, another marketer and from another business, is going to market it to them more frequently. They're going to do business with them because they're on top of mind. They're in their inbox, they're in their text messages, they're in their DMs, constantly trying to follow up. So, what does your nurturing process look like? And then, last but not least, it's going to be retargeting, right? So, retargeting. So, the way we do retargeting is going to be, hey, we're running ads or we're capturing. Typically, retargeting is for those that are going to do paid traffic. And again, retargeting is something that some people will or will not use. But in order to really scale this model, organic can work, but paid traffic will then need to come into play. But I again think you can scale with organic. The only issue with organic scaling is it's uncertain on when you're going to really hit your rocket ship. Because if you don't do your rocket ship, then with organic, it doesn't hit as hard. But this still one of the best ways to get clients to build your brand is building it organically because it's the hardest way to do it. And if you can do it the hard way, running traffic and ads is fairly simple, fairly easy once you have organic working properly. So this is an example of a product roadmap that I've taught many business owners when launching their high ticket products online. Their foundation needs to be built first. They go through this. I taught over 700 people how to build this out for their business and make sure it's ready to go so they could go and scale to 10K plus months, upwards to 100K plus months. And I have a lot of video testimonials from clients that I worked with that have done 6-figure months and now are on to 7-figure years because of that. And so it's very simple. Who's your customer? What's your core message? What's your product? How do we attract them in? What are they watching? How are they building rapport? And what's the sales letter or sales script you're using on phone calls? Then we work on traffic, your content strategy, pushing out tons of traffic organically. How do we nurture those leads and follow-ups? And then we just retarget everybody as much as we can, right? So this is a standard customer journey, and it looks something like this, which is the Fletcher method. So again, this isn't something that let's see, that's probably not the best picture. Let's see. My background's not working, so that's weird. But this is kind of an example of a visual productation after doing the worksheet, right? This is something that you can now present on all of your websites, and we're going to place everywhere. If anybody's trying to understand or work with you, this is something you're going to be able to show them right away so they can see what's the journey with working with you. Again, in the real estate space, this is something I'm going to be working with Javier to pick his brain and help him build out his customer journey, his customer roadmap. So that way we can help show you, because a lot of you here will be using a very similar roadmap when people are working with you, and it'll be based on the ultimate result you're trying to get the people you're working with, right? So if you're just looking for buyers, if you're looking for sellers, if you're looking for lazy capital, if you're looking for PMLs and PMPs, if you're looking for deal flow or how to increase deal flow, whatever it is you're trying to help as a solution, we can create a 9-step roadmap that's going to help set a clear picture for your business and your customer. And it builds massive authority and trust. You know what you're doing. It's organized and it's in one spot. And if you don't have something like this, it's okay. You can still be successful. Most of you that are watching this are successful already, but imagine how much more successful you could be if you had something to visually tell people what you do. Here's the process in which you do it, and here's how you get customer from point A to point B. And here's kind of a timeline in which you do it. So as you can see, we have the $1 million message, the avatar, the signature solution, the ultimate lead magnet, authority amplifier, the conversion event, traffic on demand, publishing powerhouse, and the retargeting roadmap. A lot of his titles are named differently. I used in the ones that I used to kind of dumb it down and make it just a little bit different. And it does look like we did make a shift here. We go after the messaging first, then the avatar. We found that to be more specific. So in my example, it's not avatar message, it's messaging and then avatar. And I wish I had my other one set up. I would have shown you more examples. But as you can see here, there's another slideshow I will include in the PDF to give you guys not only the example, but some of the worksheets to do to kind of go through here. Like these are the 3 stages. What is the core problem of each stage? right? We can map that out and say, okay, what's the core problem of stage one, right? Typically, the core problem of stage one is clarity. They don't know who their customer is, they don't know their core message, and they don't know what product they want to sell. So they need clarity. So that's the solution, right? Clarity. Their core problem is uncertainty. They're not clear on what they need. Section B, tech, right? Overwhelm. Systems. So, what would be their core problem, their core currency in that area? That would be probably most likely frustration. That'd be one. Another part in the secondary stage could be deal flow, right? Not getting leads, right? So, and then what's the transformation from what to what? These are really good. Why it matters. It's really going to help you get a clear picture on your customer journey. And then C for us was floodgates. So this would be traffic, right? So no traffic, no floodgates, not getting lead flow and deal flow and eyeballs on what you need to have, and being super frustrated. And then of course the 3 steps, and it breaks it down in a more digestible step from this screen here, right? So you still have the from the to, so that way what's the transformation for each, and it just bite-sized pieces, right, in one area. And then here's an exercise down towards the bottom called the FAQ search queries, because this is going to help you create content around each singular step. This is where it becomes a powerhouse of where you find content and idea. And so to give you a final look at the overall breakdown, right? So if we have step 1 here, every step is going to have a problem or a currency, a message to go with it. It's going to have its own content strategy, which means you can turn it into its own ad and turn it as a lead magnet, and you can create an authority amplifier video each step. And you can do that for all 9 of your steps through your product, your customer journey. So whether it's step 1 or step 8, you're going to have all of these in one. And we call this the block theory. And so what the block theory means is basically every step that you have will be an ecosystem of content ideas, lead magnet ideas, advertising ideas, product ideas. You can create products off singular steps and break it out. And of course, you want to use different things like SEMrush, Google. Some of these are outdated, Amazon, Facebook. And then, of course, we like the big one over here called common sense, which is like, what are some of the common sense things I can talk about this topic and create my content strategy around? And so that's the importance of having your product roadmap and being able to use it. And my final example I want to show you all for how that works in terms of your content, your not your content, but your nurture strategy is, I like to talk about the email ninja nurture sequence. And what that basically means is you take a step, you pick any step in your product roadmap, you do some research on that step on keywords, topics, major problems, and then you turn them into a specific kind of message. And then that message, whether it's a ping, like a question, you're trying to gather information around that topic, whether you're going to showcase a process or you're going to showcase maybe a transformation or proof you have or somebody you've worked with have, testimonials, you maybe going to go talk about problems. Any of these you can create into that piece of content. And this specifically is going to be the email content. Email is very big. Having a list, doing automated follow-ups and emails will never go away. At least in my opinion, I don't think it will. But building this out, 20, 30, 50 emails at a time, you pull all your topic ideas from your actual customer journey roadmap. And so it's very, very important to have that customer journey roadmap, because if you don't have these steps, you can't complete these parts right here. So some of you are stuck wondering, what do I write in my email follow-up? How do I write it? The what it is a big portion of it. How you write it is the second step and the second part of that equation. But if you don't know what to write, because you don't know what your steps are and you don't know what to search and what kind of format to write it in, then of course you're paralyzed. Of course you're not going to be able to get those emails out and start driving people through a 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 100-day email nurture sequence, or content sequence or strategy sequence, because you don't know and you don't have your product customer roadmap. And so I wish I had all my client testimonials, not testimonials, but graphics on here. There are a ton of ones that I will provide on the replay. So I'll include an image down below, and I'll include a PDF slide deck of the slide that you need that we talked about today. So you can do this exercise on your own. So there you have it. That's going to be the main topic point talking. We do have Jimmy and Javier here today. So I'm going to do what is now our open mic night, which is let people unmute and ask their questions around anything we talked about tonight or any other tech related, digital marketing related questions you have. please unmute yourself, come to the front of the line, and ask away.
What's up, brother?
What's up, Javier? What's going on, man?
Man, I want to hear Jimmy, man. I'm surprised I see Jimmy on the Zoom. I can't believe it. Big man Jimmy.
Yeah, man. I've been following his day in the life as a real estate agent. I hope he's or a realtor or investor. I hope he's recording right now.
I
Yeah,
wasn't, but it just reminded me.
There we go. Yeah, look, 9 o'clock at night. You're grinding. You're networking. You're leveling up your skills. That should be on there, man.
100%. 100%.
yeah. Actually, Jimmy's doing a good job with his content pieces,
I know.
just documenting everything and not just, getting, just documenting, not having to freaking think about, most people overthink it, so.
Yeah, it's one of the main things that we do here with Javier's content and growing his brand. And I'm a true believer in the beginning stages. Take that imperfect action and document, don't create. I completely agree. So, Jimmy, I like your setup, bro.
Appreciate it. I gotta fix it. It's not what I want it to be, but it's on the way.
Hey, it's better than this big old blank wall I got going right now. So,
Um,
Yeah.
man, I like the topic you were talking about today. I'm actually unofficially going to a similar. I haven't sat down and properly tried to iron it out, but it's been in the back of my mind trying to figure out what the funnel is gonna look like. And I guess my biggest issue right now is I don't really have anything that I care to sell or
mm-hmm.
push anybody towards, which then makes the front end full strategy kind of a little bit harder to map out. So I just been kind of running and gunning, creating content. But I had a call recently with the girl from the summit. Vina Jetty mentioned her. How is her last name? Isa, basically social media girl. I don't know. You might have seen her. Um, but we had a similar conclusion that my social media is kind of all over the place, and there's no narrow focus on it other than real estate, I guess. But I still don't
Yeah.
know how to narrow it down.
So if you're open to it, if you got some time, let's do a quick exercise to maybe kind of give you some clarity on today's call on kind of like the direction in which you want to take, your business. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, I'm down.
Awesome. So let's say, one, it's always good to understand kind of the transformation, right? So let's say I'm avatar, whatever, right? Well, I want to come and work with Jimmy. Jimmy's the guy, he's the expert in this space, what he's doing. What's the ultimate outcome or goal you're trying to help me achieve, right? If I work with Jimmy, what's the result? What's the transformation you're going to in a not guarantee, but at least try to promise me. So for an example, I like to use a fitness example and I use a business example. A fitness example would be is like, hey, if you work with me, I'm going to help you get shredded, summer body shredded in 16 weeks. And then the business example is like, hey, if you work with me, I'm going to help you get 100 leads in 30 days. Right. That would be like, oh man, if you're working with Matthew as a fitness coach, he's going to help you get shredded, lose 20 pounds in 16 weeks. If you're working with Matthew for business, his ultimate goal for you is to get 100 leads in under 30 days, right? So for Jimmy, like if I were to work with you, and again, whether it's money or not, like what would you be helping me achieve when I work with you?
Yeah. Man, it's kind of tough for me to answer because I don't even know what I care to help people with. But I'll give you a couple just of top of mind. I'm either probably gonna go the raising capital route, so it'll
Mm-hmm.
just some kind of return,
Yeah.
um, double digit return on idle money that you have. I don't know how I'll word that better, but it'll either be that or I'm also tinkering with a business credit offer.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just getting you 100 to 200 grand in funding to kickstart either your business or your real estate investing. Um, Maybe a little combination of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I
You
think
gotta get
that's
business credit to then invest it with me or whoever. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually absolutely true, and I knew that's where you were kind of go with because I'm trying to learn the real estate space and what kind of solutions most people are coming to for, right? Even as myself, right? My solution right now is I want to be able to take my lazy capital or the access to capital that I have, and I want it to go make money for me, right? Now, that's a very broad statement, but if I could, be more specific, I would say, look, I want my money to make no less than 20% on my money, right? Wherever I'm deploying it, 20% is really like the bottom level for me. If I can do 20% or more of my returns, whether it's a 6-month return or a 12-month partnership, right? Or even a 36-month PMP, right? As long as I'm getting 20% plus on my money, right? I'm happy. Now I'm putting that out there as kind of like a specifics, but as a capital raiser, like that could be if that's your core if that's your core of your business, that doesn't mean you can't help do other secondary solutions, right? That doesn't mean you can't still help other people find deals and do all the things you do in real estate. But we have to find the core of your business, the core of what Jimmy does, right? Jimmy is known for raising the most capital and helping his capital investors make ridiculous returns, right? And you may not know that exact number and you may not be able to make an exact claim right away because you don't have that data. But what is it that people are typically looking for, right? They're most, and again, Jimmy, you've been in the space. Javier bounced out of here, but I would say if you could help a person that has lazy capital that has nowhere to do with their money, but they want to get into real estate, but they don't know how to do anything, and you can promise them, 12, 14% returns, that would be like, oh my God, I want to work with Jimmy. Like I'm doing not tax stuff. I'm doing stock trading. I've got other financial planners, they're saying I can make 6% and 4% and 8% and all this other stuff. But Jimmy's over here saying he can get me 14%. Okay, I want to see what Jimmy's all about. How are you going to get me 14%? Okay, let me take you through my journey of how I help you get 14%, right? Number one is we sit down and then we have an audit call. We have a financial call. We have a what kind of access to capital you have call, right? That's step one. We need to get clear on where you have your money, where is it stored, how are we going to liquidate it from that so we can then deploy it. Then step two is going to be clarity on what kind of assets you want to deploy this money to, right? Do you want your money to be parked in big multifamily deals? Do you want your money to be parked in fix and flip lending deals? Do you want to have your money parked in, double closes, right? Like there's so many things that I could use your money for on a lot of different ways. Let's get clear on the core lending box. And actually, now that I'm thinking out loud, that would be like, hey, let's build your lending box, right? Once we've built your lending box and where you want your money to be parked, I know enough people and I have access to all the deals and the resources, the networking. I can deploy your money effectively to get those returns, I promise, right? So that maybe that's step two. And then what would be step three? Okay, now that we're clear on your lending box and we know where you want to deploy your money, step three would be, all right, now we need to go liquidate your cash. Where is it at? Right? Most people that I'm getting their money from, it's not in a savings account, it's in a Roth IRA, or it's in stocks and bonds, it's in whatever, right? So there's going to be a process of now we got to go help you liquidate all that effectively so you don't get charged. And then step five would be, okay, here's the deal. Here's one of the deals. I brought you a deal. Step 6, step 7, step 8, 9, right? Once you get through those steps and that process, and for you, Jimmy, at least, that's kind of where you could stand out and shine for building something like this as your core of, okay, this is what Jimmy does. All right. He takes the doctors, the lawyers, the physicians of the world that are working 80-hour weeks and have zero time and energy and effort to find deals in real estate, but they want to be in real estate. And he takes their money and he goes and gets them 12, 13, 14, 15% returns. Okay. I want to learn more. Now, as you get clear on that, then when you create your visual of that customer journey, then you can use that visual in the digital marketing space. And now that can live in different areas, right? When people start coming across your content, people come to your landing page, whatever it may be, a lead magnet, they can get clearer without you having to explain it to them every time. It's an evergreen webinar, it's a video, something that you can just send to people like, hey, you're a doctor, you've come across my content, you want to work with me, great. Here, watch this first. Boom, you have a pre-made 10-minute video where you're already walking around your business, what you do with your investors in the process. And then, hey, once you've watched this 5-minute video, just ping me here with your questions and let me know what your thoughts are. And then from there, that's where now you're taking them into kind of customer acquisition. And again, it's not customer acquisition, but we want to treat it like customer acquisition. Like what's the next step from here? Got it. You like my
Right.
process. You trust me. What's the first thing we need to do next? All right, awesome. Here's the thing. First thing is first is let's, and again, I've never done big capital raising. I'd like to get into that more. What and if, or is there any paperwork that needs to be done, right? Is there some sort of JV agreement? Is there some sort of paperwork that you would have to put together to, say, hey, like we're going to work together, right? We're going to work to do this together. But yeah, that could be your core product, your core offer. Now, again, that doesn't mean you can't say, well, in this bucket over here, number 7 of my process, this is where I do deal flow. This is where I understand deals. This is where I find deals. This is how I get deals sent to me. Here's how I do it. And so I can still attract people that are just want that one small piece of your system, right? Who's looking for deal flow, right? So you'll still speak to other people that are maybe wholesalers or other investors that are more of the hands-on versus the hands-off. And so that'll help you still bring people into your ecosystem, not all about just giving you money to raise money, but that's a great way to help build trust and authority, is having that roadmap for the lazy capital investor, right? Like, I got money sitting around. I don't want to, you and especially Javier have been in the business for a long time. You've built connections, you have the network, you have probably deal flow that you have to pass on because you either don't have the money or it's not a right fit for you and the current lenders you have on your list. And so you always want to keep growing that list, right? Because like, man, I hate passing up this deal because this is a deal for someone. It's just not a deal for me or anybody on my current list. So we need to keep raising that capital list of people that are willing to say, okay, that fits this, that fits Sammy's buy box or lending box. You don't have Sammy yet, so you have to pass on this deal. Ugh, that sucks, right? So I would say that would be my first recommendation, is starting there. And then again, based on the exercise, watch this video again. I'll put the worksheets down below. It's a brain dump, right? Sometimes it's not in order, just brain dump kind of the process. Like, hey, let's play it out. So Jimmy, I've got about 500K that I have access to. Dude, I've seen your content. I've seen your work. I really want you to be kind of like my operator. Like, if you can give me 12% on my money, like what's the next steps we got to do? Right? Think of it
Yeah.
that way, right? You're sitting in front of them. Someone's got 500K. They're ready to deploy that. What's my next steps? Okay, next steps is I need to set up a contract agreement, or next steps is I need to ask him, is it liquid? All right, so is it liquid? Oh, I have it in a Roth IRA. Okay, so our next steps are we need to make sure we get it uh, uh, pulled out of your Roth IRA. Here's what to expect when doing that. You're most likely going to get charged and you're going to pay fees because you're pulling it out early, but that's okay because we're all going to make it back in these big deals we're getting into, right? Boom, that would be the next step. And then once you have that liquid capital, okay, think in your mind, okay, what's the next step? Brain dump it. What's the next step? And what you'll tend to see is as you build that out, just even in a Google Doc or a written paper, just write it out, just brain dump as best as you can. Once you get it out of that head, one, you're going to have more clarity because it's out of your head. It's just sitting in there and it's all over the place and it's not organized. So doing that exercise will help you get clear, even if it's not in the best order the first time, but you'll be able to look at it on paper and go, man, that's okay. I know how I can piece this together to make this really make sense for my customer or for the client I'm working with, for the investor that I'm working with. So that's why this process is so important, is starting out with brain dumping as much as you can and then ordering it in a way that your investor would go through that journey with you as you help them deploy their money. The great news about that as well is each step along the way becomes its own piece of content for you. Right? So I know there's lazy capital people out there that have money in Roth IRAs. And I know that some people I don't know how to pull money out of a Roth IRA. I don't know what kind of fees are going to be associated with it. I don't know what kind of headaches I'm going to have or forms I need to fill out and tax and stuff. Well, that's why I'm coming to you, Jimmy. like you're the expert. You know this. You've done it before. You've done it with other clients. So now you can create content around one small piece of your overall business to help bring clarity to the marketplace, to people out there that may have lazy capital. And the reason why they're not using it is like, oh man, I don't want to get charged my fees if I pull it out of my Roth IRA. Well, I just came across Jimmy's content. He has a whole little mini series where he talks about it for free on YouTube or Instagram, and he talks about how to mitigate the fees, how to apply to add it for taxes, and then based on the deployment of it, he's actually going to make us 2-3x our returns because he's deploying it on these bigger deals. So even if you get hit with the fees, it's not you make it all back within the first year. Wow. So I haven't been getting into real estate because I didn't know that knowledge. Thank you, Jimmy, for putting that basic knowledge, free knowledge out there to educate me a bit. But now I need to deploy it. Who am I going to deploy it with? Ding, 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 ding. Jimmy, the guy that gave me like the great information, the guy that brought me value and helped me overcome this roadblock and this thought process that I had. You know, you're a part of Pace's community. Look, I mean, it's the simple blueprint. He gives so much information and education on how to do everything for free. When it's time for them to finally get help or finally to do a deal or to do something, who do they run to? Pace, the guy that gave them the free knowledge, the guy that gave value up front with asking nothing in return through content, very similar to what we're trying to build with Javier. And again, things that you're trying to do, but you're so scattered, it's kind of hard to like pick a lane and it can get confusing over time. So, well, and in return, in terms of my recommendations and kind of the thought process behind it, where does your brain go, Jimmy? Does that give you some clarity, or what are the questions you have around that?
No, 100%. That definitely helped me, gave me clarity. I like the what's the next step, and then kind of figure that out. What's the next step? I like that's a good way to think about it. Rather than trying to figure it all out at once. Just like, what's the first step? Just start there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then your pen and a notepad is your friend in this process. And this is a process no one wants to do when building a business, right? We all talk about the fun stuff, the great stuff, the transformation, the finish line. But when building a business and really trying to take it seriously, like you're trying to do, right? You're trying to do it more serious, more organized, like a bit. Look, Pace is doing this. Jerry Norton's doing this. Me and Javier are doing this. Countless customers and clients that I've helped, they all do this and they hate doing this part. This is like pulling teeth. It sucks. But the amount of clarity you get going through this first part of building your business, it is so worth it to take that, write a game plan down for this next week or a week where you feel you have more time that you feel, you know what, I'm going to dedicate 1 hour to just brain dumping my process and just do what you can in an hour, then take a break. Come back to it the next day. Okay, this is where I left off. Let me get some more of this great knowledge, these gold nuggets out of my head. Boom, write it out. You may have 3, 4, 5 pages of notes. Cool. Now you'll have clarity. You'll have relief because now it's stored somewhere and it's not up here causing you craziness. Like, oh, don't forget about this. Don't forget about this. Don't forget about this. Then the next step would be now, how do I condense it into a small bite size process, right? I've got 4 pages of notes. I've got all this information. How do I order this in a way that makes sense for someone to go through when they work with me? And how do I do it in a more bite-sized manner versus, just here's a book. No one wants to read a book. How do I keep it in a bite-sized manner? I would challenge you to do that over the next week or 2 weeks when you have, a little time here and there. Like I said, I've been watching your stories. You're busy, man. You're all over the place. You got family, kids.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, right? Pick up, drop off. You're looking at properties. You're picking up supplies. I see it, man. It's so I understand the struggle there. So my recommendation to you and my challenge even really to you is, because you can get this done and it'll bring massive clarity to you, is just block off 1 hour every day when you have time, replace whatever it is that you feel you can replace for 1 week and really brain dump your process. And then, hey, the good news is I'm here every Tuesday. I'd love to see what you got next Tuesday. And then we can continue from there, right? Be able to, okay, I'm here. I got more clarity. What's my next steps of really formulating at least the product roadmap, the customer journey roadmap. Because like I said, it will be the fuel for everything that you do in your business.
100%.
Yeah. Cool. Other than, just kind of getting more clear on your business structure and the foundation of your business and your core message and, your core roadmap, are there any other big kind of like tech or marketing or digital marketing kind of questions you have, or maybe like you want further insights on how the market's shifting or turning?
Not right now. Nothing top of mind.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, you're like me, you know, you got a good you're already kind of savvy with digital marketing. You're probably staying up to date with all the recent trends. What are your thoughts? I don't know if you saw this over on Instagram, but what are your thoughts on Instagram charging a service fee, or not even Instagram, more of Apple. Apple's charging a service charge to do boosted posts on Instagram now. Did you see that?
I did not.
I went to go boost a post the other day. You know, I do a small boost on my personal brand from time to time to just grow my followers, nothing crazy. I went to go spend $30 and they're like, oh, here's a new policy in place. Apple's going to be doing a surcharge for your boosted post, and you're required to pay your ad budget up front now. So instead of like paying on the back end or whenever you had like your pay meter, mine was
Right.
like set for like $150. Like I wouldn't pay until my budget hit $150 used, and it would just pull from my account. And I never paid a service charge. Now, before you hit boost, you got to pay whatever you're looking to pay, the $30, the $100, the $50, whatever. And you'll see a little service charge from Apple. And it was like $13. It was like $13 to do $30, almost
Wow.
30% service charge
Huh.
to
No, I
boost a
didn't know
post.
that. I usually do all my ads through Business Manager, so I don't think I have ever boosted a single post
Yeah, so I
through the
need to
front
look
end.
into it, but I think it could be because I'm on my iPhone and
Yeah,
Apple.
it probably has to do with that. You know, that's why they do a lot of weird stuff like Audible. You gotta buy credits and then you spend the credits.
Yeah.
It's just for that. It's to bypass the whole Apple mechanism.
So that frustrated me the other day because, you know, obviously I'm pro organic, but I like to use, you know, if I can pay to get in front of more eyeballs, I'd like to from time to time. So I'm more of the organic guy, but I'll pay. But that just kind of like upset me a bit because Facebook and Instagram, they're just too many ads all the time. Like I'm getting served way too many ads. And I'm starting to get tired of the platform for that reason, like being on the platform personally. And so it was just, yeah, that was a new thing I saw that happened to me, and I was like, man, I like my Instagram. I'll stay on it, but I'm gonna go over to, YouTube is gonna be a huge push for me for the remainder of the year. I just see so much better. I see better use of YouTube and long-term growth, and a lot of our business models, and my business model is affiliate marketing. And so having videos live on the internet and on YouTube forever where people can interact with and click that affiliate link right under there. Right.
Yeah.
I had someone use my Gator link the other day for Gator method. I don't know where they came from. I just got a commission sale from it. But my Gator link is all over our stuff for YouTube and Instagram. So, YouTube is our primary traffic source.
Mm,
So someone clicked the link in one of the descriptions and went and watched the webinar and then purchased Gator. Don't know who, but
nice.
that's a nice $300 commission out of nowhere, right? So
Yeah.
I do a lot of that stuff on my side in my business. And so YouTube, I'm going heavy over on YouTube moving forward.
Sweet. I'm looking to start utilizing all of them, even if it's just a simple repost. I know it's not the best. You ideally want to create content for the platform, but I think it's better than not posting at all and not using it at all. So bare minimum, I have a lot of content that I'm posting on stories that one, I'm gonna turn into reels because right now they're just disappearing.
Yeah.
And two, I'm gonna turn into mini vlogs on YouTube. I will probably eventually start capturing horizontal versions for
Mhm.
YouTube, and just send it to my editor and just have them kind of piece it together for the different platforms.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube is massive.
Yeah, we're seeing really great things. I've always liked YouTube, but with Javier, the first quarter we grew 700%. He's up to 200 and let me check right now. He's up to 326 subs. And so if we look at the last 90 days, he's up 242% than the previous 90 days.
Hmm.
212 subscribers. It doesn't give me the breakdown for the first month anymore. Um, right. But like in the last 7 days, we're up 25%, 21 new subs. And all we're doing there is long form content. You've seen his stuff, long form content. And then I drop it into an Opus Clips platform, the
Hmm.
software AI that we use, and it spits out 15 to 30 quick under a minute clips, I upload right into the YouTube Shorts, and that's what's getting him most views, most traffic, most of the subs.
Nice.
And that process, the hardest part of that process is documenting the journey. Like today, we went out to Palm Coast, hour and a half trip on the car ride. Our videographer couldn't make it, so since I'm putting in sweat equity, I had to be behind the camera for the 2 hours we were there, just recording everything, making sure we're getting good shots, and then an hour and a half drive back. That was the hardest part. Now that I have the footage, I can upload the footage. I'll put it into a quick editor to put it all together. We don't do any fancy edits, nothing crazy. It's just snip it together so it flows smoothly from front to end. It'll be a 1.5 hour long form content. And then
Yeah.
I'll take that, plug that into Opus Clips,
Mm.
and I'll let the credits and the AI analyze that and spit out 15 to 30 clips. And maybe it'll take 40 minutes because it's processing everything. Boom, all the clips come right out right away.
Yeah. Are you
So
guys scheduling content, or are you guys just posting manually through the app?
I'm scheduling through YouTube for YouTube Shorts. I don't know what Javier's doing on his side.
Okay.
But let's see.
I'm about to delegate that to my VA, and I'm contemplating. I have a tool, I think from my last research, Metricool or something like that was the best one that I found that could post to pretty much everywhere.
I haven't
But
heard of that. Okay.
I've heard of posting through a scheduler, aka API, is not the best as far as reach. Supposedly it hinders your reach some. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know Instagram has a schedule feature inside of the app, but you have to do it manually for each post.
But it sucks though because you can't
Yeah.
use most of the features.
Yeah, you don't get to use most of the features. Yeah. Um, I would say, in the beginning, when you're just a team of one, you don't have a big team, post again, this posting something's better than nothing. So post what you can. But that's where your time efficiency has to come into play. You being such a busy guy, you have to bite the bullet and say, well, dang, I can't do this. Then I have to hire a VA. And again, you can get VAs for super dirt cheap to do a lot of this stuff for
I
you.
already got one. I got a
There you
full-time editor that she's gonna become a social media manager as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just thinking like, man, I hate. It's kind of like it sucks. Like you put in all this effort to then the last little bit of effort where it's like posted on the platform, but you're doing it via the API is gonna kill you. Now I
Yeah.
don't know how true that is. Maybe, but like you said, posted is better than not because right now I have
Yeah.
over 50 shorts probably that I haven't posted just because I haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't worked with any of the scheduling apps out there. I think that would have to be a trial and error with all the new stuff that's coming out. But I know for like through Opus Clips, I'll share my screen real quick and show you. They do have an option to share from inside the desktop platform here. So let me make sure I've got everything showing.
Huh?
Right.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, so I'm in one of the clips from our day one summit. It was a 30-minute, it's a 30-minute day one video that we have up to YouTube, but we're doing 30 to 60-second clips, and it did all of this work for me, right? So
Yeah,
I did nothing. It just it has
I've
the
used it before.
okay, yeah, so you understand this, right? So we got
Yeah.
22 clips out of that 30-minute piece. And what I love about this is it automatically gives you your headlines, like bam, like it takes the keywords, what it's looking for. It gives you a score, right? Hook, flow, engagement, trend. So, right, it's giving you kind of like why it stands out. But then you have a share button here. You can do an auto post to scheduler, right? So you can add your accounts. Now, I've never used this before because I don't want to mess with it because I don't want to just I need to set this up.
Yeah.
So, but and obviously I have it set up to my platforms, not Javier's. But if I were to pick my YouTube channel, right? It looks like I can regenerate. It's put in everything I need right here, right?
Hmm.
So there's the title, there's the description, and then public, private, or unlisted. Boom, publish, or I can change the date. Now, is it cool to do it from in here? Yes, but I can do the same thing in the YouTube Studio app.
Yeah.
So I already do that already. I bulk upload everything to YouTube, and then I go down the content YouTube Shorts, and I already have I have a pre-defaulted upload to the YouTube descriptions and tagging, and then I just go back through and I change to schedule it, and we post 5 YouTube Shorts a day. at 3 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That's what our analytics tell us. Afternoon times are best. So if we look at his account, let's see, where is he at? He's right here. Right. If we look at his account, we'll come to his content. We go to his shorts. I have posts, today's the 7th, so I'm out to tomorrow. So that means tomorrow I have to definitely come into all these other shorts back here that I have not used yet, which we have hundreds of shorts. Like
Mm,
these are all shorts that we just like I've uploaded them, but like we're only doing 5 a day, but I have all these shorts that need to go out.
mm,
So I have so many non-published shorts right now that I could easily just do, right? Come in here, edit it. It's all of this is done already, and I'm not changing any of the titles for shorts, but this was already preloaded. All of our links, all of our hashtags, disclaimers, all of our affiliate links for Gator, Subto, right? Everything we're using, it's already preloaded. And I just hit next. I come over to if there's a related video, which this one does, I'll have the related video here, which will be day one. Let's see. Summit maybe. Yeah, Squad Up Summit day one. So I'll hit the related video for Squad Up Summit day one. If you know what that means is when you're watching the short, you can hit like what's the related video, and it'll take them over to the full video. I'll
right.
hit next, and then I'll hit schedule. And actually, that's actually the talk, the panel. So I need to go back and change that one. Right. So that's actually the pad split panel. So I'll type in pad split. And let's see, panel, right? So this was the panel that he did. That's what the clip is from. And I'll do next. And I'll go to scheduled. I already have May 8th, so I'll go to May 9th. I think our afternoon is around 4 p.m. Boom. And then I'll hit schedule. And then that's it. And I do that. And that takes me like 5.5 minutes if I go boom, boom, boom real quick.
Yeah.
And so it gets time consuming. I could do 6, 7 days in a row if I spend like 30 minutes, throw on some YouTube music, and I'm just like, again, that
Yeah.
the can do it right now. But the goal is to get our business to a point where we're making some revenue on our side for the Be Bold investing side. And then we're reinvesting into that VA to do this stuff. Because a lot of this stuff is simple process. A VA, can do all this for us.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't use the Opus Clips scheduler in their software, because I'm already doing it on YouTube.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So, but yeah, yeah, man. So, what big goals or plans do you have this week? What's the main goal for the week?
Dude, man, for the next couple of weeks, I'm just gonna be trying to complete a couple projects and just trying to get stuff on my plate, really. That's like my number one goal. And then try to focus into just growing the business finally. Because right now, like you said, you've seen me on my stories, and I just been doing way too much. So I'm little by little, I'm already talking to some of my trusted contractors to maybe hopefully have one of them become like a project manager to
Mhm.
basically do a lot of the stuff that I do with the projects. I'm already having my wife help me a lot with the Airbnb stuff, so I'm kind of taking that off my plate as well. The co-living, hopefully once those are fully booked, it will be way less hassle than right now. And yeah, I'm just trying to make those changes. That's probably gonna take me the next couple weeks or couple months to kind of get a good baseline to then start that. We're also starting marketing paid ads. We hired an agency. I have a background in marketing. I don't think you know this, Matt, but before I got into real estate, I had my own marketing agency for like 10 years.
Let's
So
go. Let's go.
that's where I came from. So I know a lot of that stuff. I just don't have the fucking time. So we actually hired Esteban. I don't know if you've seen him. He's in Subto, but gonna be working with him for like 2 months. He's gonna be running Facebook and Google ads for us.
There we
Um,
go.
my business partner is a closer really in the team. So he's gonna be basically just handling all the leads. So it was just kind of a good way, easy way to for me to delegate that and get the ball rolling. So he's not waiting on me. Hopefully that'll get some deals in the pipeline. We might start focusing more on wholesale just because it's a little bit more scalable. I don't know. We got a lot of shit going on, but
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I think one that's good to know, because I mean, like I could kind of tell, one, by your setup that you have some skills in the digital space, right? The marketing space,
Yeah.
right? Most people don't have any look of a setup at all. I used to have a green screen, my background, but I wanted more space and I wanted a more feng shui office on the other side. So my desk in that corner wasn't good for me. Um, but I could tell right away when you turn your camera on, it's like, okay, he's got it going on. He's got a good camera. He's got the Rode mic set up.
Yeah.
He's got the podcast chair set up in the back. Or sit down and do some podcasting. So
That's the goal, launch a podcast. But this whole setup's been here for like a year and I still haven't done it. So
hey man, well, so here's the thing, right? Like, the best thing, the best action is the imperfect action, right?
yeah.
And that's all me and Javier have been doing. There's obviously some things that you can do to better streamline your days or what you're focusing on, but keeping an eye on what are the levers that are going to move the business forward, right? Those are probably the most important things to focus on. So if whatever projects or whatever kind of things you're doing, right? If it doesn't fall into that bucket of like, is my business moving forward? Then no, I'm not doing it. Hey,
Yeah.
sorry, can't do it. Sorry,
That's what
no.
I'm getting to right now. Trying to
I've been in your shoes,
exercise
man.
that no.
I've in the last 6 months, I've said no to so many things I normally would have said yes to because I heard this from Alex Hormozy. It's a video. You should watch it if you haven't. You may have watched it because if you're in marketing, you watch a lot of his stuff. It's the season of no, right?
Mm,
Just you know what? I'm in my season of no, right?
yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. No, sorry. Just nope. I got this I got to do. I've got to just say no for these next 6 months and just grind. And because I want to have a certain type of life. And if I don't say no, then I'm gonna get burnt out, overwhelmed. It's actually worse for you by not saying no. And what I'll say is learning how to say no is so much better. It's powerful.
Yeah.
You're just like, sorry, man. Nope, not doing it. But yeah, you're in a good spot. You're doing a lot of great things. If you need a guest for podcasting, let Javier know. He's trying to be guests on other people's podcasts. So if you need a dry run, you need to, test your equipment out, I'm sure he'd be down to come over and do a shoot with you and sit down for 30 minutes to an hour and just jam. We actually got our podcast studio up in Maitland in one of the office buildings there. So we're looking for guests as well too. So I don't know if Javier's invited you out or not yet, but I'm sure he'd be more than happy to have you out as a guest, so we can get more other experts in the space, right? Talking
Yeah.
and jamming and sharing their stories and just ultimately trying to bring everybody along, right? Similar to what Pace is doing. He's got his
Mhm.
core people. He brings his core students on, his core partners on, and they talk about their success stories. And it's just trying to elevate everybody. So if there's anything I can do to help out, right, please let me know. If there's anything I can do to
Yeah.
to provide some value for you and your team and whatnot, um, I'd be more than happy to jam with you and give you that guidance and helping get things clear around like what should be focused on, what should be and also if you need somebody to kind of critique some of the stuff your team's doing, right? Like, hey, I need another set of eyes on this,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah.
this ad campaign that marketing agency that I'm using, is
Yeah.
this something that you would run? Like here's our KPIs from the first 30 days. In your opinion, Matthew, you've run ads before. What would you change, right? That's it. That's what this call is for.
Mm,
I know we're small and we're growing. This is the best time to get in because you're going to be able to get so much intimate time with myself and Javier because there's not going to be a lot of people on these calls.
yeah.
So, and, I tell people all the time, like, man, get in while now because we will have this community and we'll grow this to hundreds, if not thousands of people. And there'll be a point where, damn, I can't get on with Matthew anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
You
Oh
know?
no, yeah, I would love that. Same here, man. If you ever need second set of eyes for anything, I love to nerd out about any of that stuff. So, um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, we can dissect whatever their funnel they end up building for us is and see where they fucking up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that stuff too. And so absolutely, I'd do much nothing more then love trying to give critiques and feedback and helping people in the community, especially our first 100 here inside of the Be Bold community. You know, we just launched. We're getting members signing up. We've got some paid members coming in. You know, paying the $47 a month, right? That small entry fee as kind of like a barrier of making sure all the tire kickers and the people that are just, you know, freebie seekers aren't, you know, coming into the community. But I want to be able to, you know, this is a space, bring that. Yeah, bring it. You
Yeah.
know, whether it's, you know, you need, you know, KPI tracking, how to understand what's going on with the people you're using. SOP writing will be big as you scale, right? You mentioned you have some team members and you're looking to scale now. So honing in SOPs is going to be a huge thing. So I'm not sure on how you write your SOPs, but that's huge. How you write them, how you deliver them,
I
will
use
really,
I pretty much have my own course portal. I built it on WordPress because I'm a nerd.
yeah.
But I was pretty much recording everything and creating videos of everything. But lately I've been using Scribe.
Yes.
So I've been using Scribe, and then I'll turn on the Loom also. So I'll have like a full video walkthrough plus a slide section. So ends up being pretty detailed.
Yeah. So what I recommend when you're moving fast is, so this is a recent SOP that I did for our videographers. So we have a team of videographers. We're growing our videographer team. They're all independent contractors. So I start with, you know, like a simple document like this. I write it out and I'm very specific on where they're going to get stuff. And then I have that walkthrough video, right? The Loom video, right?
Yeah.
Right on the document, and then it lives inside of our Slack at the top. So all of our comms people, like I just posted it the other day, like, hey, we got new SOPs, go check it out. And you know, they have to watch this, both of these, and then emoji mark once they've watched it. But that's going to be a huge part of making sure the team knows what they're doing, the SOPs are, and yeah, you're going to be in a good spot. It's got to get clear on your focus, on your drive. Like what's the lane? Not the only lane you live, but what's the first lane you want to scale first, right? They call it a vertical. What's that first vertical you want to just dominate till you're crazy for 6 to 12 months? Because then once you build that, then you can say, okay, I got this figured out. Now I want to talk more about fix and flips. Right. Let me go build that vertical. And I keep doing this and I will continue to do this. Look at Pace, right? Pace was,
Yeah.
you know, one vertical for so long, and now he's learn how to be a bank vertical. Now he's doing multifamily vertical. You know, now you know he's changing his verticals a lot faster because he's able to move faster because he has a team behind it. But once he built that main vertical, that first vertical, creative financing, right? Sub two, everything is sub two. Now he's got a powerhouse machine that now he can go down each of the verticals, the other verticals faster. Um, and so you'll be moving really fast once you get that main one dialed in.
100%. Awesome, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate this call. I'm gonna try
absolutely.
to be on here a little more often.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is only the second one of the that I've got launched. So glad to have you here. And you know, like I said, I'm glad someone showed up to give some insights. And I look forward to seeing you next week if you can. If not, you know where to find the replay in the classroom. Let's see. Let me see. Did you unlock level 2 yet? Let me
Uh-uh.
see. Jimmy, let's see. Let's find leaderboards. Let's do 85% of members. Let's see. Where you at, Jimmy? Let me search. So what we do in our community now is in order to get access to everything, you got to be level 2. In order to get level 2, you have to basically get 5 points. And in order to get 5 points on school, you have to post something and people have to like or comment on it to gain points. That means if people like your post or comment on your post, that means you've create engaging and valuable content for the community. So right now I got you at you've got some contributions I see, but you're still at level 1 in our group.
I got you. I'll
So
post a couple things in there.
yeah, I would say first start off with I know most people are posting their intro on Javier's post. I would just create a brand new post and just introduce yourself again as a regular post. And what both me and Javier do, we'll both like it and we'll both comment on it. Boom, you'll get 4 or 5 points just there. And then everybody else will come in and introduce themselves. And like I said, our goal is to really use school to promote valuable engagement and let the community, again, we're just trying to suck the great things that Pace has done, and we want the community to drive community, right? We want you in there finding, sellers and wholesalers and deals and lending money. Like, we want you guys to collaborate and make money together. So school will help us with that, because we're doing a weekly and a monthly and a yearly giveaway. So each week, if you lead the leaderboard each week, I'm doing a social media audit, and Javier's doing like a 15-minute hot seat on his call. And then if you win the 30-day leaderboard, I'm doing a graphics package. So pick one of your social channels. You want a logo or an updated headshot or a cover photo or a banner. I'll do a quick little draft of that for someone if you win the 30-day leaderboard. And then the yearly leaderboard is, we're not going to have a inner circle mastermind for Javier, but we're going to grow into a place where we want to have no more than 10 people, where we're connecting once a quarter at a location, and we're going to jam, and we're going to do like a free, spot to being able to join that. Right. We think it's, roughly at a $10,000 value for something like that. So that'll be a win. Whoever has the most points after the full year, they're going to win a spot to be on that inner circle kind of mastermind. Right. It's like, to be an example, would be like Pace's Subto, right? If Pace had his free group over on school, and the person who contributed and got the most points at the end of the year, they would get a free Subto ticket. Like,
Right.
you get to get into Subto for free, which he charges $10,000 for. So that would incentivize me or someone in the free group on school to make good content, to get likes and comments, because that's going to build my score up. And over the end of the year, I get a free ticket. I get to be in Subto for free because I created great content, because I create valuable content in the community. I didn't just post random nonsense and nobody liked it and everybody ignored it. No, people liked it. Oh, I got 10 points from that. I got 5 points from that. So that's what I love about school. And I think a lot of people are going to be shifting over there very, very soon, now that Alex Ramosi is kind of partnered with them. I think he acquired them or partnered with them. Like, he's part owner. So yeah, school's a great spot. So cool, man. Well, let me let you get out of here. Hey, man, thanks for stopping by. Really do appreciate the support, and hopefully I was able to provide some clarity for you. And like I said, man, if I can see you here next week with some sort of like a brain dump of your process, even if it's not perfect, I'd love to see what you got. Or even take a screenshot and post it in the group as a post, just so I can make sure you're one small increment, right? That 1% mindset of 1% better, right? 1% better.
For
So
sure.
cool,
Alrighty.
man. All right, take care, my
See you
friend.
later, brother. Peace.